Here are 5 truths that people learning a second language don't want to hear. Coming from somebody who has learned Spanish from the ground up and has reached a near native level of fluency, I find that people who ask me questions about how I do it oftentimes have really unrealistic expectations, and we need to talk about them. Number 1, you are not going to learn a second language in a month, in a week, and probably even in a year. When I tell you that I've been studying Spanish rigorously for 10 years and I'm still learning, I mean it. I always like to say that learning a language is like going to the gym. You're not going to go to the gym for a week and become a bodybuilder. You're not going to go to the gym for a month and even become a bodybuilder. It takes years of working and working through plateaus and working through problems and working through confusion to even get to a level of fluency. Honestly, I feel like it took me about 7 years to even say that I was fluent in Spanish. Number 2, if you don't have a purpose or a reason for learning a language, it's not going to happen. I don't care if it's only because you want to watch TV shows in your target language, or that you have a boyfriend, or that you have friends, or that you want to travel. But if there's no reason that you're learning this language, why do you think that you're going to want to keep learning it? Number 3, you are 100% absolutely going to embarrass yourself, and you just have to accept that. And if you have fear of embarrassing yourself in public, probably it's going to be a lot harder for you to learn. The amount of times that I mortified myself in Spanish living abroad, I can't even count. I have literally been laughed at in my face by native Spanish speakers for how silly I sound sometimes. And you have to take that embarrassment and throw it out the window, because there's no way that you're gonna learn if all you're thinking about is how bad you are and how embarrassing you are. Next, and this one is especially for Spanish, the Spanish that you learn or the language that you learn in a classroom is probably not even close to the way that it's spoken in real life. With Spanish, there are 21 different countries that speak that language natively. 21 different versions of the same language. So really, not only are you just learning one language, you're learning every single version of the language that is spoken. So be prepared for the fact that you're probably going to go out into the real world and not have any idea what half the people are saying most of the time. Lastly, if you don't have a respect for the culture that's behind the language, or if you don't care about the culture that's behind the language, why are you learning this language? At the end of the day, a language is just a representation of the people who speak it. So if you're learning Spanish, but you don't care to learn about Spanish and Hispanic traditions, holidays, customs, manners, social norms, what's the point? It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to accept that things are different from the way you think. People are different than the way you think. And if you're stuck in your English speaking ways, for example, it's gonna be super hard to move on from that and learn that language. I'm not saying these things to discourage people or to make you feel like learning a language is impossible, but it's also important to understand reality. Okay, que tengan buen día. Ciao.